Hey YouTube, how you doing? This is Mr. Tybox123, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you my review of the Samsung Galaxy S2. So I bought you my unboxing of this phone about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I've kind of been using it ever since that. I actually took it on holiday with me, and for those of you who have been watching my vlog channel, you will have seen all of the videos that I've put up using this phone, using various different definitions and settings on the video side of things, and it's performed absolutely fantastically. The video quality is absolutely superb, the sound quality is superb, and if you want to check out those vlogs, head over to youtube.com/MrTyVlog123 and you can see for yourself. The ease and ability of uploading the videos to YouTube thereafter having created them is also really easy, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in the review. So let's just start off with some of the specifications for this phone. It's got a Super AMO LED Plus capacitive touchscreen capable of 16 million colours and 480 by 800 pixels, and that's a 4.3 inch screen. And I don't know how well this comes across on the screen, but this screen is fantastic. I can't describe how good this screen is. The colours are awesome, and the way it presents all of the images and the videos is just fantastic. So I mean, on the screen side, I just can't stress how incredible this screen actually is. The vibrancy of the colours is just absolutely awesome. It's got a 1.2 gigahertz processor with 1 GB of RAM, and you know, to go alongside the specifications of the hardware, this phone really is very fast. It's actually faster than my iPhone 4 by some margin, so that's quite a feat to be able to achieve that. No matter what you go into, everything runs really quickly. Everything's like instant. Everything you click just comes up completely instantly and straight away. There's no real delay on any application that you go into whatsoever, regardless of the complexity of the application. Now, in terms of storage, you can either get this in a 16 GB model or a 32 GB model. This one I've got is the 16 GB model, and that's all I really needed, because this has the excellent flexibility of being able to add a micro SD card up to 32 GB. So if you want to have a whole load of films on here, or photos, or even applications, then you've got the ability to upgrade the onboard storage quite significantly to up to 64 GB, which is really good again. Now, there's a whole bunch of other features on this, and I won't bore you with a massive list of them. You can go on to gsmarena.com or somewhere like that and check out all of the detailed specifications for this phone. What I will mention is the cameras. On the back here we've got an 8 megapixel camera capable of 1080p at up to 30 frames per second, and then on the front we've got a 2 megapixel camera. Now, the front facing camera isn't able to take video, which was a bit of a pain for the vlog side of things, because you had to actually turn the phone round and have it facing you, and therefore obviously not knowing what exactly you're getting on the picture. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but the quality of the videos on the back, and I've taken some samples which a lot of you will have already seen, it really is absolutely superb. And like I say, if you want to see different definitions of the video which this camera creates, then head over to my vlog site, and I've got a whole range of different situations and camera samples on there that you'll be able to have a look at and get a good feel for. One thing I did like about this phone that isn't really talked about very much is the fact it's got an FM radio inbuilt, so that's a really nice feature to have as well. And something I really did like was the ability of this phone to natively play DivX and Xvid and pretty much any format of video that you can come up against. So for example, if I go back to my home screen and we just go into the gallery here, I've downloaded a little DivX clip that we can play, and that is literally just having been copied over from my machine straight onto here and just played natively. And as you can see, the quality again of the screen is absolutely fantastic. So in terms of video playback, this thing runs YouTube completely adequately, and also runs any kind of video really that you put on it perfectly well as well. So very impressive on the video playback side and the functions that it actually supports. Now, I just had an email come in, so this is probably a good point to talk about the notification system, and I really like the notification system on this operating system. It's very, very simple to use. Anything that happens just comes up here in the status bar, and all you do is simply drag that down and it tells you all about all of your new notifications. Now I've just got an email in there, but you know, if you get a Twitter notification or Facebook or any of those different kind of social media sites, then they're just going to appear in this list, and then you can simply click them and away you go, and it will take you to that particular application where you can read more about that notification. It also has some quick settings in here for on-offs for things like GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc., to make those very simple to get to, and the notification system really does work very, very well indeed. Now I'll just talk about some of the applications which you get included on this phone. So a lot of the simple first ones, you've got the clock, the calendar, you've got the ability to play back music. Now the music playback system that they've got is definitely nowhere near as good as the one that you would find on iOS, but definitely more than adequate to do the job that it's required to do. So that's nice. We've got the browser. Now the browser on this phone I've already talked about in another video, so I'll leave a link below for that and you can have a look at the browsing experience on this phone. But needless to say, the browsing experience on this phone is just fantastic. Everything works as and how it should do. The text is nice and clear. Even when you go down to quite a small size, it's nice and clear. We've got the camera. Now with the camera we've got the ability to either do video or take stills. We can switch the camera from front to back. It's got a built-in flash which works reasonably well, just the same as pretty much any other phone flash does. And we've also got the ability to change all of the settings on the camera between a whole different range of things. So you can go change the shooting mode, you've got scene mode, you've got focus modes, you've got the resolution that you actually want the images and the video to be at. You can even change things like ISO. There's a whole range of different settings that you've got in the camera settings which make this a really, really decent camera to use in terms of a camera that's coming on a smartphone. So we've also got obviously maps, we've got email, we've got the gallery for all of our pictures and videos, Google search, we've obviously got the Android market. Now for those people that haven't used Android before and are familiar with Apple, iOS and the App Store, the marketplace is the equivalent to the Apple App Store, and it works reasonably well. It's definitely not as comprehensive or as good as the App Store on iOS, but it does the job. There's nowhere near as many applications in here, but most of the ones that you need or that you'd ever use really are now appearing in the Google Android marketplace. So very, very impressed with the applications that were in there. I thought there would actually be a lot less than there are, but pretty much everything that you would generally use is actually in there now. We've also got this social hub, and in the social hub you've got the ability to add in all of your social networking sites and then have a central place for picking up all of your communications between those different social networking sites. I haven't really used it that much. I kept finding that it crashed quite a lot and wasn't that good to use, so I just went back to using the individual applications themselves. You've also got Music Hub, Readers Hub and Game Hub, which go along the similar kind of lines but for those different elements. You've got a file browser which enables you to browse the file system, which is a really nice thing to be able to do. Kind of missed that on the iOS devices. Videos. You've got this thing here called All Share, which enables you to share any kind of file to basically any kind of device. Really nice feature to have in the operating system. And then we've got this thing called Keys Air, and I've just gone into the wrong thing. But if I go back here, we've got this thing called Keys Air. And what this enables you to do is share to and from between your PC in a wireless situation. So all I need to do now is go to my PC, type in the IP address that's been presented here, and then I will get this full functional browser system which enables me to both download and update files from my device completely wirelessly without having to connect this to a computer whatsoever. And that, I think, is a really great feature to include free of charge with the device itself. We've got the Talk application, latitude tasks, navigation. We've got voice commands, which is reasonably useful, but not something I particularly use. Voice recorder, voice talk. We've got the ability to look at our places, downloads, photo editor, which is reasonably good, and we've also got a video maker, which is kind of similar to sort of iMovie on the iOS devices and has the sort of similar functionality. So nice of them to include that for free as well. We've got a mini diary, calculator, got a range of different Samsung apps that come included, news and weather, the FM radio that I talked about, IM, which is an instant messaging application which enables you to connect to a whole different range of IMs and use that. That's a really nice feature to be included again. Memo, iPlayer, fantastic to have that included. We've also got a YouTube application, Twitter, and then the rest of these really are ones that I've put on myself. So I think the inbuilt applications that come with this device kind of surpass anything else and are really, really good and very, very easy to use, very intuitive and very, very useful. Now let's just talk about some of the settings that you can do on this phone. You've got this kind of several page system here where you can add and remove widgets and different settings. So let's just have a look at some of the widgets that are inbuilt that we can add. So we've got a weather one, we've got agenda, AP mobile, bookmark one, buddies now, month, agenda, today for your different calendar elements. Got a whole range of different clocks there and some more there. We can add email pages, widgets onto this page, Google search, latitude, etc, etc, and and there's a whole range of these different ones that we can add on here in terms of widgets just simply by clicking them, and then they're going to appear here on our page. So that's like the sort of quick start menu there that enables us to turn things on and off very simply and configure our settings at just sort of one touch. We can also change our wallpapers and do all of the things that you would expect of any smartphone in terms of ringtones and things like that. So again, it's very capable in that department. The third-party applications that I've added in, like Twitter for example, are absolutely identical to that of the iPhone and work really, really well. Now I'd just like to talk about the build quality of this phone. Now I've just had this rattling around in my pocket for the last few weeks, and like I say, I've been on holiday and I've kind of carried that around with me everywhere, just literally rattling around with my keys in the pocket. And I've been really, really impressed with the fact that this phone literally has not been damaged in any way whatsoever. It's not got a single scratch on the screen, it's not got any marks on the back, and I was actually a bit worried about this back cover because it was so flimsy like we saw during the unboxing, but it's held up extremely well, and there really is no need for concern about the back cover because once it's on, it feels solid. It's just the fact that when you take it off, it does look very flexible and kind of cheap. But the rest of the build quality of this phone is absolutely superb. The size is very, very nice. There's absolutely no problem with the size whatsoever. It's slightly smaller than the iPhone in terms of the thinness of it, and in terms of the size, it's well worth the extra size to get the extra screen real estate that you get with this Super AMOLED screen. So overall, I think the build quality is very, very good on this device, and like I say, I've been very impressed with the kind of battering that it's taken in my pocket without actually having any scratches or any kind of damage to the phone itself. Now let's just talk about the call quality and the microphone quality and the speaker quality on this. This speaker quality in terms of the headset when you're holding it to your ear is fantastic. I've actually never been on a mobile phone that's as clear as this one is, and in terms of the loudspeaker, it goes the same with that as well. All elements of calls, making calls and call clarity and quality really do surpass pretty much anything else I've ever used, including the iPhone. So very, very impressive with that. And after all, let's not forget that the core use of this is as a device to be able to call people with, and call clarity and quality is very important. Now in terms of the connectivity, this does support all of the different methods of Wi-Fi, and I found that this has a superior Wi-Fi connection to the iPhone, because in the hotel that I was in, it had a terrible range, and that this phone actually picked it up a lot further away than the iPhone did. So in that particular scenario, it works over a further distance. And in fact, when I walk away from my house down to the shops, the Wi-Fi reach on this again is superior to that of the iPhone, so must have a very, very good Wi-Fi setup in this device and a good reception and antenna. Now in terms of messaging, the text message application is fairly good, works pretty much the same as any other smartphone, not really a great deal to say about that. And the email as well is also very good on this phone. everything works exactly as it should do. Had no problems with that whatsoever. So really that kind of wraps up most of the different elements of this phone and its features. Now I'd just like to talk about a couple of the negatives that I will pick up on about this phone. Now the first negative that I've got is this back button. This back button that's kind of appears when you click down here is an absolute pain. When you're holding it and you're watching videos, it's so easy to accidentally press it. When you're trying to take videos, you really want to hold it there because the camera's at the other end, and all you do is you keep pressing that button all the time, and it really is quite irritating. It takes some time to kind of get used to it and make sure that you're constantly aware that you're not pressing that button, because it really is placed in a really rubbish area. So one of the other things was that it was a bit disappointing that the front facing camera didn't take videos for doing vlogs, but again, you know, that's something that you can live with. And really that's one of the only couple of downsides that I can really pick up on this Samsung Galaxy S2. For a first time user of Android, I've been very, very impressed with the operating system. It does come up with this little thing that says you're waiting for an application and do you want it to close, you know, maybe a couple of times a day, which can be quite irritating. But other than that, really no problems with the operating system itself at all. In terms of battery life, this battery on here is absolutely fantastic. I use this phone really, really heavily, and this battery will quite easily last me all day and include taking a couple of videos in that and possibly even watching one or two and listening to music. So battery life is really fantastic on this phone. So I would highly recommend this phone. I definitely think it's by far and away the best Android smartphone that's out there at the moment. I'm going to do a video comparing it to the iPhone 4 for those of you that are interested at a later stage, and we'll see how it compares to that. But most definitely I can tell you all who do use the iPhone 4 and who are maybe looking to use an Android device that this compares very, very well indeed, and in a lot of areas does surpass the functionality and flexibility of the iPhone 4, and really does outperform it in quite a few key areas. But anyway, that's for another video. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.